Alright, so we are back. Or actually, I am back and Queen will join me soon again. She's taking a small break. So what do we have here? India against... Oh, an India mirror, okay. Well, it's not the best matchup for me to cast, but I'm gonna try my best. I already not I don't have the best knowledge in sub about India, but in 3D it's like we will try. In Blitz anyway, it's not so much about booming and stuff. It's more about fighting. So I guess I can talk about that. So yeah, so this is Blitz. I guess you guys already got an explanation about this, but just in case some people would join the stream. So in Blitz, it's just like the fastest way to play No Rush 40. So instead of playing for 40 minutes, obviously you play for only 10, which means that you skip the first 30 minutes of booming because it's well, booming does require some skill, but it's not always the most interesting part. Usually fighting is where the game is decided, and you don't really want to always spend half an hour extra of booming. Like for example, such a fast tourney like this one right now, if it was only No Rush 40 games, it would take just forever. It wouldn't even work in one day probably. So we make it Blitz, and it means that you have all your eco already set up. You just need to age up and make all the upgrades and send all the cars as soon as possible. But you do have all the buildings already and the villages out. So here we have in the color red, oh sorry, I need to get used to this mouse again. In the color red we have Zivearia playing India against, on the other side of the map, FloKo playing India as well. Kind of funny because these two guys were teaming up in some 3D team tourney, I think. So they're mates and they now have to play against each other, so they probably know each other pretty well. And I guess FloKo is the favorite of this matchup. But Zivearia is also a pretty strong player. Yeah, I can't do that for you. It's fine. So FloKo already going on wood, while Zivearia right now is maybe focusing on the other macro stuff. Let's see. Well, they just ship all the eco cards basically, the trickles and the wood upgrades and plantation and mill upgrades. FloKo shipped much more cards already, but these extra cards don't really matter. They're just for military, and I think Zivearia didn't really want to ship the military cards yet, so he's just stacking shipments, and he prefers to focus on his economy. We do have a front base going down for both players already. In Blitz you have until minute 4. So that is 6 minutes of remaining time before the treaty ends. You have these 4 minutes to research everything instantly. After that, the upgrades take some time again to research. So you kind of want to drop one of each building as soon as possible, like one racks, one castle, one stable, and then the native post, and then just do all your upgrades, and then you can have some time to do other things, for example splitting your units at the middle line or walling up and this kind of stuff. I should mention that India is a civ that can run a lot, so you have usually 2 ways to play treaty. Most of the time people play heads up, which is like just fight face to face in the middle, and you can also run, and this map is quite open, so there's definitely room to run on this. And India, since they can make military buildings from their with their sepoys, they can definitely sneak some sepoys on the side and make some castles, some buildings, and just try to push the eco. The wonders, I hope FloKo is gonna make more walls, because this wall is kind of an eco wall. It's really close to his eco, and right now, like not right now, but some siege elephants could sneak and just snap these wonders easily because they are in range. While Zivearia made a good job at having a wall a bit more far away. So I hope FloKo is gonna add more layers, a bit more distant to his base, and just be a bit safer. Trade coming in already for FloKo. So that's third trade. That's food to coin, I think. So you can see the resource, difference in resources. I guess that's 105,000 coins stacked for FloKo. I'm not quite sure, can't see because of the UI, but yeah, it's 105 coin, alright. And now Zivearia traded. So he traded slightly later, which means that, as you can see, he gets a bit more coin out of it, but he will have less food. So I'm not quite sure which one is the best, but there was only 30 seconds difference anyway, it's not a huge deal. Flay elephants. Did he train these, or do you know if you get flayed elephants from some wonder age up or whatever? No. So he trained flayed elephants, which is really, in my opinion, surprising. He's training more. Well, if you want to run, I guess it makes sense, but then I don't think they should be in the middle, because in fight they do essentially nothing. You see, these guys are kind of fully upgraded flay elephants, and they have only 11 attack. So you don't want these guys to be fighting against units. You want them to be on the side and sieging down some stuff, like walls or buildings or whatever. By the way, Zivearia didn't delete his pillars, so maybe he wants to make sure that no unit can come through, because when you delete pillars, it means that you can build the wall faster, and also that you save some wood, of course, because it's 5 wood per pillar you don't build. But at the same time, here you see, for example, FloKo built his wall a bit fast, and I think that in these gaps some small units can come in, like not some elephants, for example, but some sepoys could probably go inside of his eco. So I guess that's why Zivearia decided to keep the pillars. The best, of course, is to delete the pillars but have no gaps at the same time, which means that you need to wall a bit carefully and it takes more time. None of these players actually adding any layer. So I mean, you can definitely run on this map, and especially in India Mirror, I guess you can run. So I think they should have more layers. Would be safe. It's also very cheap anyway to build a wall, so I'm not sure about that. I mean, if FloKo already keeps it like this with the gaps and stuff, Zivearia could literally have some units here at half map running in and directly going in his eco. So we will see if they do something, or if they just keep the walls like this. So now, why are they post making flay elephants? Is this some kind of meta, or are they just post trolling? I don't know. I don't think flay elephants are any good unless there's something on 3D patch that I don't know, but I think they just post agreed on trolling for this game. I don't know. Someone just let me know in the chat if there's a good reason to make flay elephants in a heads up start like this, or I'm not sure if they agreed on it, or if maybe Zivearia scouted these flay elephants and decided to do the same. But I think they agreed on it because they are mates, and it's kind of funny to even see the Menzabdar flay elephant. I didn't know that there was even a Menzabdar for flay elephants. It's really something you don't see every day. They do have a lot of siege attack, and it's even more than what it shows because they have a really high rate of sieging, I guess you would call it that. They siege. They have a lot of siege and siege really fast. This card should make your elephants cost 1 less pop, I think. But it doesn't look like these flay elephants take less pop. Or maybe they do, but it doesn't show here, yeah, I guess. So they should be only 2 pop now. So both players send the same cards for the elephants, except that Zivearia got the elephant combat. It's like 15% attack and HP on your elephants. Oh wait, but why do they have the same? Why do they have the same stats? Now that's something I don't understand. Like, one guy got 1 more card, but the stats are the exact same. kind of confusing. Maybe it doesn't apply to flay elephants. Oh, I'm bad. No, this is a combat card. This is a training, like cheaper and faster training. My bad. I'm really not so good at India. So yeah, so they basically ship the same stuff, I think. We do see a calf training. Okay, yeah, the boss has the training cards, the boss has the trade. I think they just boss and more or less the same stuff. Oh wait. What is this? Oh, this is for nuts. It's cheaper nuts, I think, but for native thieves. Yeah, it's cheaper nuts. So FloKo went for cheaper nuts and Zivearia didn't. They both send the card to build with your sepoys, so they both may be ready to run. There's so many cards I don't know so well, sadly I need to check. Oh. Okay, that's maybe to age up faster to Imperial at start. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's also a cheaper building, so. They both have exactly the same pop right now. They just overpopped everything and got the tigers ready from the Explorer card, and yeah, we're ready to go in 20 seconds. They didn't send any kind of units on the sides, and no villagers. They're chopping wood a bit, but no front villagers and no units as well on the sides.
Yeah, I think they're just going for flay elephants full all the game long. Would you like to see this?
Because they didn't train anything else than flay elephants, I think. They just ship consolidate units and nuts and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be, I guess, funny. I'm afraid that the sound of them gets very fast boring and annoying. They also take forever to do anything because, like I said, they have like no damage and they have quite high HP. So yeah, they're both doing a good job at dropping very fast some buildings forward. Of course, it's pretty easy when you can do it with your sepoys. They build fast, and you have a lot of sepoys everywhere, so you can definitely build that easily. Some walls going up. Did they agree on playing heads up or something, or did they?
No, maybe they did in PM.
Maybe, but you didn't see them agree on heads up. Because this looks like a typical heads up wall where you just wall up on the side to make sure the guy can't run, but you don't wall up here because if you agree on not running, you don't need to wall up on the sides, right? So this looks like a real heads up fight, these small walls, you know? So I guess they just agreed on that.
Yeah, I think so. We don't see any units crossing half map on the sides.
And now they start to train real units, I would say. So they just wanted to go for a kind of funny start to their play elephants, I guess. And yeah, now they train real units, so a lot of Gurkhas and Nats, of course, couple Howdahs, the Tigers. Oh, they all have the same name. They're all called Exahiled or whatever you spell it. Tame Tiger. They all have the same name. So how can you know which one is which? And when you call them, they must all come at the same time. I don't know. It's not very good. So a lot of walls here on the boss sides and.
Yeah. Zivearia is stacking some shipments. I don't know. He's shipping some. And also FloKo have one shipment. Can you change to your eye a little bit? Like all units, military units?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a thing in treaty. In sub I like to snap them in that bar, but I think in treaty you just keep it in the back so that he can't die. You see both sides are just like, this guy is even in defense mode so that he doesn't move. I guess this one as well. So yeah. That's gonna be a lot of skirms. In my opinion, India doesn't have a very good cav. The Mahouts are just kind of awkward. They get killed so easily by the incast. So they just make a couple Mahouts to tank, but not so many. So it's mostly gonna be a skirm war, I think. They also don't have artillery, which makes you want to make even more skirms because there's no cannons to kill the skirms. So I mean, there's consulate cannons maybe, but not so many.
They fix it a little bit on treaty patch that you get a little bit more cannons and also some cool winds was for
China, I think.
China. But yeah, in India mirrors basically skirms.
Yeah, yeah, it's very easy to have a broken counter sorry, counter unit system, whatever it's called. It's very easy to have a broken one. You need to just have one bad kind of unit. If the cav is bad, then you have no reason to make goons, so you make only skirms in fact, because anything else dies because the cav sucks. So they just make a couple of mahouts, like I said, to really tank. You see they tank a lot of police, but once the nats come in, they just die. And 65 XP, it means that they cost 650 resources, which is just a lot, so you don't want to make too many of those. Plus they already have the tigers, which tank and do actually decent damage. They even have a multiplayer against infantry, so kind of a small lancer. And they don't have any tag, I think. Hand infantry, light infantry, so they don't get sniped by skirms, so they tank quite a lot, yeah. Don't get sniped by skirms or by goons. No unit has a multiplayer, I think, against tigers, so it's quite a good unit actually. So yeah, it's gonna be nats and skirms and tigers spam.
Yeah, we can also see that both players keep their explorers in the back to heal and to make tigers from them. They don't want to have them in front and die.
I guess if you played at the perfect level, you would bring them just that they tank and then you would pull them back before they die, but realistically you don't have the APM to always do that, so it's just safer to keep them in the back and train your tigers. I like that FloKo took both training posts. Since they're not running, it's gonna be a bit harder to siege these guys. Like, you don't really think about them because you're just focused only on the main fight. And if FloKo can get the stagecoach, it's like an extra, I would say in treaty maybe an extra 3-4 wheels from this to TPs or something with stagecoach or with a train. So it's always good to take, especially in a mirror. But yeah, sadly there's not gonna be so much to cast about this matchup, I'm afraid. It's just gonna be a big skirm spam. And the Gorkas are a very strong skirmisher. They have a bit more range, they have and just better attack, and I think they just have better stats, to be honest.
Well, FloKo's a little bit ahead in the score.
Yeah. So we can check the units lost to see if it's because FloKo got more kills. Yeah, Zivearia somehow lost much more skirms, but I think it's because FloKo made more mahouts, and FloKo lost much more mahouts. But I would still say that here Zivearia lost more stuff than FloKo. So maybe it was better that FloKo made a bit more howdahs. I think just a couple howdahs like this can do a good job. They tank a lot and still do some damage. Just can't make too many of them, I think, because then when there's a lot of anti-cats, it just drop. So yeah, FloKo actually really ahead in score already, 100 extra score. You can see in the resources that, oh well, the problem is that FloKo is super low on wood, but he just got way more food and a bit more coin as well. But he's really low on wood right now, and he needs to fix this, I think. He got 2 wood tricos, maybe soon. Yeah, he got a stagecoach probably on wood. But he needs some more villagers on wood still, I think. Oh, he bought some wood maybe. He got 1k more wood now.
FloKo have also towers in front behind his army, what is pretty smart because they making some damage.
Oh, he didn't make any castle. He made just one to train some siege elephants, but he didn't really use them as towers, you know. He used them as artillery foundries, but not as towers. And I think castles are quite good. They have more HP. They have well, just more HP than towers, you know. And I think it's nice to build them forward like FloKo did, but at the same time Zivearia did a good job at killing them with his siege elephants. I don't like so much what he's doing with them now. It's maybe a bit too aggressive. I feel like they're gonna drop. Oh, and now they start to ship the infinite wood, so they're probably not gonna have any wood problems actually.
No, the wood will be fixed from it. But FloKo is catching up in score.
What you mean he's even more ahead in score, yeah. Yeah, just the food. Zivearia is quite low on food, really. After the trade, you always have a bit of a problem to have food because, well, yeah, you trade all your food for coins, so then you don't have food left, and you have most of your bills on food, but you need to yeah, you just can't really make mistakes, because if you drain your food and you had 0 food, then you will probably never really come back, because yeah, you just don't have any stock of food. So we will see if Zivearia ever... I mean, he's dropping, so I guess he will slowly go to 0 food before FloKo, which means FloKo will have a big window to push and do damage and just get more map control, and we will see. Oh, okay, so couple of falconets from the consulate. Kind of falconets on steroids. They have 10% more HP and attack, I think, because they're from the consulate. But yes, that's about the only cannons you will see in this game. They're siege elephants, but they don't really do any damage to units. They just here to snipe artillery and buildings. So that's the only real cannon you will see. Ah, and they both sniping each other's cannon. Oh! Now, I would have liked one of them to snipe the other one, because there was only 9 HP left. Like, FloKo could have pulled a couple scums and snipe it, and then he would have a cannon shooting in the back, but maybe they were busy doing something else. Zivearia really going super aggressive with this siege elephants, but it actually pays off there, because he killed the falcon. He's maybe not gonna even lose one. Oh! Oh, these guys could have done something. Oh, flay elephants. This is kind of cheating. So OP. So, yeah, sorry, there's just not so much to say about this matchup. I think it's a huge scum spam. So, yeah, it's gonna be about who can keep his pop a bit better than the other.
Well, I can tell you, look at the score. FloKo is going to win.
Yeah, he's winning definitely.
He's now 200 score ahead. He's spreading out his units much better, and now we have lag.
Yeah, it's really a bit laggy there. I think it's just some computer lag, because there's so many units and the UI also makes it lag a bit more. Not a huge deal, to be honest, if there's some lag in this matchup. I think there's no closer in micro anyway, you know, you just spam your scums, so I think it's just about keeping a pop and lag.
Howda micro?
Mahouts, you mean?
Mahouts, not howda.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And flay elephants?
Flay elephants micro, yeah, that sounds very intensive.
You see, you need to micro them there next to the wall and don't get shot by the scums, and then you need to micro them. Oh, you see, he even tried to go back because they're Inca coming. I told you. It's micro.
Alright, if you say so. The flay elephants do absolutely nothing. I don't understand why he tried.
Yeah, because they came Incas. He could have, to be honest, he could have just right-clicked the tower there, and because he would anyway have lost them. Zivearia is going back because he's going just back. There's no reason at the moment. I think he can't hold his pop so well like FloKo. FloKo even have over pop out. And
well, Zivearia is really low on food now. He needs to take really care.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to keep his pop all the time, because right now he was underpopped a bit. This means that he gets a bad trade because he's outmasked when he's underpopped. And you see now he spent his food and he's already no food left basically. Oh, now he got a bit more. Maybe he bought some. I think he needs to stop going so much on wood. Actually, FloKo made the right decision by going early on, not so much on wood, because he knew that the 1K3 shipments would come in soon enough, and he would just use, you can just use this wood. You see there's always wood on the floor, just feeding FloKo there, and Zivearia now has too much wood because he still has so many villagers on wood, and he at the same time also gets a shit ton of wood. To what?
To units, military units, and on the other side units in queue. I think this is interesting to see what kind of units will pop next.
Oh, some siege elephants in queue for Zivearia. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he can reach anything. The buildings are quite fine. I don't think he can snipe anything.
Yes,
Maybe just
Zivearia is not able to hold his pop anymore because he's so low on food.
Oh, forward 1k3 wood. Not sure why. This is sad. Well, it doesn't really matter because he anyway has too much wood, but still. You don't really want to ship your wood there. It's not a safe spot to gather it. But Zivearia is really underpopped, and these Incas are going to just die, honestly. At this point, when you have so few units, you should go back, because sending your Incas, you see how many died there, and he's so low on food, he really can't afford to wait this. Like, 10 or 20 Incas like this is like more than 1k food for sure, so you can't afford to spend this. And yeah, I don't know how it's gonna do.
Yeah, he's still getting low on food.
I think he made siege elephants because they cost wood and coin, and that's the only Indian units that cost wood and coin. And because he has no food, he decided to make some of them, but they don't really do anything. Shooting at mahouts. So yeah. Oh, and FloKo made 5 of them now. Because he anyway can see that Zivearia is not holding his pop, so he just goes for the siege units to get the military buildings down and just, you know.
Yeah, we can see that Zivearia is all the time underpopped and is now losing his front base to FloKo siege elephants. And even some skirms are sieging as well.
Yeah, it's just over, honestly. I mean, the scores are not close at all. Even the coin count is heavily in favor of FloKo because Zivearia probably had to buy food or something, and now he's just so behind in coin. And yeah, the only resource that Zivearia has more than FloKo is wood, and it doesn't really matter because, yeah, like we said, with the 1k3 wood shipments, he anyway has enough wood, I think. He really should have. Oh, he's switching now, but that's kind of late. He made couple of rice paddies maybe with all his villagers on wood. Almost all.
Yeah, to save some working time.
I think his only villagers on wood now are the ones on this wood here. Oh, so he's coming back a bit in the food count. Like he got resources to spam units now. He can definitely keep his pop now. But for how long, you know? Yeah, he calls it GG.
Yeah, GG. So this first round goes to FloKo in this best of 3.
Oh, it's a best of 3 already. This is round of 8?
It's round of 8, and
all
we
right,
have left, I think, Andes and Orinoco or something like this. I'm not sure I have copy paste, we will see.
Alright, let's check fast. Yep.
Indeed.
So the resources are essentially the same. I mean, there's 1k out of 440k difference, so it's basically the same resources. But I think we can see that the food count was better for FloKo, and the wood count was probably too high for Zivearia. Yeah, you see, he's just got too much wood, so that's why he was out of food. He was keeping up his pop less than FloKo. Clearly, FloKo was usually having more military units on the field, so that's why he was taking bad trades. Sometimes he was really peaking down to half pop, like 50 pop, while FloKo had always a decent pop. And yeah, you can see FloKo also took slightly better trade. Like you see, FloKo made less than 578 skirms, and Zivearia made much more skirms, and he still lost because his skirms were just dying to mahouts and stuff. So yeah, it was well, I guess that's it for the stats. Was good for FloKo there.
Well, GG out?
Yeah, GG out. If we can go out. Just wait. This is why I say wait, because it always comes at some point. Same with my code. Wait, you see.
So it seems like ESO is down, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need to wait for ESOC to come back, then we can move on to game 2. Alright.
So my computer is making actually some updates, and it's going down now. It takes always 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm lagging a little bit, and then it's fine again. It's just once per day.
Alright.
Okay, it's going down. No, it's fine.
This guy should turn it off when you don't need it. Okay.
Okay. So what is the next map? Yeah, it is Orinoco. You picked it already.
Oh yeah, alright. And
Germany versus Sue. Oh god. What do you think about this?
oh wait, we fight right after 10 minutes. It's the same thing, right? I mean, Blitz Orinoco or Blitz.
Well, I
It's
don't
the
know. We need to check in the rules. Give me 1 second.
Alright. But I think it's exactly the same as Blitz, so you just fight at 10 minutes.
Yes, all games must be played as Norwich 10.
Yeah, it's just like, it's exactly the same thing. They were kind of confused because usually you don't have Blitz on Orinoco or Endis or any real map until like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even 1 week ago. There was none of these maps could be played as Blitz. Only the route and cliff and river maps. So yeah, it's kind of new. It's Dictator who took the time. Thanks to Dictator for this, by the way. He took the time to implement this Blitz game mode on RE maps, so on Orinoco and this, for example, and also on some ESOC treaty maps. So there's like Northern California, for example, or Toluca. We had Toluca. I wasn't really watching, but there was already a game played on Toluca, or at least one game. And yeah, so they just implemented, Dictator implemented Blitz in this, so that's really nice because the old Blitz maps were just like kind of blank. There was just nothing on the map, just like one cliff or one TP line or one river and nothing else, you know. It was a bit sad. And this looks a bit better, I think. Although it's also quite empty, actually. But what matters, I think, is the nats should be the same like on the original Orinoco. So we don't have Incas here, we have 2Ps, and I guess it's like Zapotecs, or depends what you get, sometimes Maya. Yeah, this spawn is Maya. I don't know if the spawn is always the same on this Blitz map, but I don't think so. So this time they got Maya and 2Ps. Maya give a boost to meals and to melee units, which is gonna actually be good if they want to make doppels. They give a 20% HP here and the meal boost there. And the 2Ps, they give you cheaper buildings and also an upgrade to your archers, I think. Yeah. So this upgrade doesn't really matter for Germany. It's just they're just gonna research it anyway because it's gonna boost the 2Ps when they train 2Ps. But it doesn't matter because for the other units, it's not like when you're Blitz, for example, and you're really happy to have this because it upgrades your longbows. But here it's not gonna really matter. This upgrade here is gonna matter more. And also you can train some Cougars, so that some extra units you need to spam from your TC. So you need a forward TC and to make these Cougars. And any cheaper buildings is always good to take. Doesn't matter so much in Blitz because as you can see, all the plantations and buildings are already built, so you don't need to pay for this, but it's still good to have it because it's gonna build an extra TC and some extra military buildings and everything. So I think you should, before you build anything else, you should build this like at second 0, just already now during the post set you explore to build this, and then directly research this upgrade, and then you can build anything else you like. Alright, so we go in. We have German Mirror on Orinoco with here in the color orange, and Zivearia playing as Germany. And as Germany as well, we have FloKo in the color green. I'm just confused why there's 3 Ulans here, honestly. You can age up with 3 Ulans? I mean, yeah, I was also thinking it should be an age up, but I really don't see an 3 Ulan age up. It's kind of weird, to be honest, but whatever. Doesn't really matter anyway, it's just 3 units, so I can delete my stuff now. And yeah, so he's not really... Oh, he also has 3 Ulans here. What the hell? Maybe one of these cards still gives some free Ulans with it, which would be strange, but I'm not sure. I guess I just missed something. Kind of weird. So let's compare the decks. I guess it's gonna be the same. It's the exact same deck with the Explorer card and cutting the double cards. On this map where you already have the Mayas, so which are some hand infantry, and where you have such a slow training because you don't have incas, and doppels then just take forever to train. So you don't really want to make so many dops, so they are not going to have any of the colonial upgrades for doppels. They prefer to have cheaper nats and the Explorer card. Yep, it's mostly for the dog you get. It's another tank, like 3k HP tank or whatever. So you ship this and get the dog, and then you spam from your TC the dog and the Explorer when they die, so that they can tank again. Boss players got this upgrade to get cheaper buildings, so that's good. FloKo is making heavy cannons apparently. I actually like this factory placement in the middle of the base. It's the safest spot. They boss did that, and they are boss making heavy cannons actually. They both made the upgrade for training heavy cannons. This upgrade is worth it if you make at least 3 heavy cannons. I think for 3 it doesn't matter if you make it or not, but if you make 4 heavies, it's a good trade to get this upgrade, and then you get faster your heavies out and you can switch faster back to wood, and the fact that you get all this extra wood actually pays for the upgrade and even gives you some extra resources. So basically always get this upgrade because you will always make like 3 or 4 heavies. I think sometimes you make only 2. I've seen that happen, and then you shouldn't get the upgrade, but that's not most cases. Oh, he actually deleted his Ulans. Okay, I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't think he needs a pop for stuff now, or maybe he wants to go for 6 heavy cannons, in which case he might need to delete Ulans so that he can train some culverins. Because after all, this is a river. It's a bit large. I mean, it's not so tight. Like it's bigger than cliffs. For example, the gap on the cliff, Blitz cliff map, is smaller than this. Especially at start, it was like this big or something. But it's still not very large. So it means that you can easily drop some walls here. You can build on the river as well because it's recorded, and it's a bug when the game is recorded. You can always build on the river. So they can probably try to make walls on the sides, and then they will fight on a small space, and then it's very interesting to have a lot of heavy cannons, because the passing is pretty bad for handcav, and yeah, you can just really cover your heavies, and then you usually go heavy on artillery on this kind of map. You can see FloKo already got 8 calls out, which is basically the most you can ever train. Usually you do 6 or 8, depending on if you want to play artillery heavy or not. Can also make less, but 8 curves is about the most coverings you ever train in a start army. That's already 32 pop of just coverings and no real units, you know. But Zivearia went for the same. He also went for 8 curves, so that's gonna be interesting to see at start. Which player does a better job at microing the covering is gonna be important, because they commit so much to the artillery play right now that yeah, it's just gonna matter who comes out on top of the artillery war. Whoever can snipe the coverings faster and have some of his own coverings still alive can deny the heavy cannons of the other player. It means that his heavy cannons will die to coverings, or that he will have to pull them back and they will not do damage. While your own heavy cannons, if you kill his coverings, are able to move forward and to just shoot at the infantry. So you really need to focus on this artillery war, I think. It's also quite an easy map at start, I think, because on some maps you need to, if this would be open, for example, if there would be no river, you would need to spread units on both sides and just send villagers and make some walls and take map control and fight for the map. On this map at the start, you just need to focus on the main army, basically. You need to make a couple buildings. Like I would see a wall from here to here on both sides, just to make sure that the other player can't sneak in a villager here to run. And maybe some towers and some more forward military buildings, but you don't need so much. Like, look how close these buildings are to middle map already. You don't even... Like, he didn't plan on making any forward native embassy. You can see the limit is 3, and he already made the 3 of them, so Zivearia will not slam down any more forward native embassy. So you can already see that he's not really planning on making a new base so fast. And FloKo did the same thing. How many heavies do we have? Only 4 actually, not 6 of them. So I'm really not sure why FloKo deleted his Ulans. Maybe he doesn't want to make any Ulan in his start army. Maybe it's just because now he can have his 8 coverings already all on the field because he deleted 3 Ulans. Looks like Zivearia actually deleted them as well. Yeah, that's quite funny. I think if you're fast enough, you don't need to delete them. You can just wait that you're at 1 minute before the end of treaty. Then you delete your villagers anyway, because you need to free up some pop space, and Germany has 140 pop of eco, so you need to delete villagers, and then you can train like 1 or 2 curves if you need to at the last second. But it doesn't matter much anyway. We can check, I guess. We can compare the start armies, but it's very similar. FloKo made some Cougars and Zivearia didn't, so I don't know if he forgot about it or if he's gonna do it soon. But that's essentially the same start army, like the same amount of heavy cannons, same amount of coverings, and the nats, and yeah. And they got the native upgrades. It's good. He even made some healers. Like FloKo made some healers. I guess they can heal the cannons if they're idle. Like if you have a half dead covering and there's no covering to snipe on the other side, maybe you can pull it back and just heal it with your healers, I guess.
But look how beautiful they put their start army.
Yeah, they spread their stuff a bit. But there's still a gap here where potentially some stuff could run in. Both players only have 1 layer of walls. And this wall isn't even closed, so like, if FloKo wanted to even just try to run in, he would have no problem, I think, to run here. Just run some cav, and I think he would easily go in. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure they agreed on not running again. Because if it was really a game where you would expect your opponent to maybe run, you would have more than one layer of walls. And you would close it a bit carefully, you know he has a gap also, and yeah. So I guess they don't run.
Well, they're even talking on Discord at the same time.
Oh, they're talking together?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our real mates.
Yeah. So the build order is the same basically. They ship all the eco upgrades and then boss fast training cards. Usually you would maybe ship advanced arsenal, but it's a slow training map, so maybe they wanted to have their units out faster. But yeah, I think in Gem and Mirror you can, even without fast training, you can go advanced arsenal. When you're against a civ like Dutch, which has like much more units than you because they have the church over pop and 135 pop of units compared to your 110, you maybe need to cross fast trainings. Anyway, FloKo is actually running in, but I don't think he will go in the eco. He just tries to flank the coverings here. And
yeah, it seems like
this. Wow. Oh, but he's gonna kill all the artillery there. Look at this. That's just a lot of cannons. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks ass for Zivearia, to be honest. I mean, he just lost all his 4 heavies, while FloKo has all of them alive, and his 2 remaining coverings are dying, and they're not focusing the cannons. So you see, the healers are actually healing there. There was some.
Yes, they're healing the idle units.
Yeah. But there's not so many idle units.
Well, Ori, you have sometimes a lot of idle cannons.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not real Ori. I mean, the river is bigger here, I think. Or maybe it's just me. I don't have so much Ori experience. FloKo knows that he can wall up on the river and he goes for it. He's just doing this little cheeky wall there with towers behind, so he probably can keep his artillery somewhere here, and it's kind of safe because he can't be flanked on this side and because the towers are protecting. He's putting a lot of villagers to build, actually. I like it. He made 2 front stables already, and he's trying to wall up on the other side as well. But Zivearia might deny it. Well, his own wall got denied. So FloKo is gonna get just slightly more map control from this wall. He's a bit more, but it doesn't really matter, right? I mean,
yeah, and also the wall have a lot of splash damage from this tower. Look at how HP. Low HP.
Yeah, because of the splash damage, and if he can think about it, he can repair it, but it's not so easy. So FloKo is just a bit ahead in the towers, in the tower count. You know, like Zivearia is trying to do the same thing, a bit more in the back because it's getting slightly pushed, but it doesn't really go up. Like I don't know what happened there, but there's no villager building. Maybe they died. Oh wow, this villager is gonna siege down the tower for sure. 2 of them actually died here. And there's another one here, that kind of sucks for FloKo. Is Zivearia making Cougars?
Yes, from the 2 piece. I mean, you can make them in his
No, but it's not making them, I mean... Well, FloKo has only 3, now he got 7. I think FloKo is training Cougars, but Zivearia doesn't think about it.
You should make Cougars, they are small house.
Yeah, it's just extra units.
But look how many heavy cannons FloKo still have. He have 4?
Yeah,
and Zivearia have 0 and no Kulverin on the field.
He's being quite careful with his heavy cannons. He really doesn't bring them so much forward, even if there's no Kulverin on the other side. I think that's when you would pull back this heavy cannon, right? Since you have anyway 4 healers and you can train them back even if they die. What about just pulling back this low HP heavy cannon somewhere here and heal it? Or even this one as well. I think it would be good. Because these heavy cannons will die in 1 hit of covering. So I think healing them in the back would be better. Then it would take 3 hits to snipe. But maybe he just wants to keep them here to just do some damage.
Yeah, there was no Kulverins from Zivearia, but now he needs to pull them back, and he's doing it. Nice move, but he still uses 1 Falk and one
Kulverin, one heavy cannon. So he's gonna need to make coverings himself. He lost another heavy actually. Because it was low HP, I think it was some units who sniped it. I'm not sure, or maybe coverings, but this was quite nice for Zivearia that he just killed 3 cannons, And FloKo is making a mortar, which is not exactly what you want right now when you're doing the artillery fight, I think. You want just curves, and mortar comes after. So one more kill for Zivearia, and he's doing quite a good job. Now FloKo got this. Alright, still good for Zivearia so far. Wow, yeah, that was good from him. He just lost one kill, I think, and he killed 3 or 4. And he also killed a heavy cannon. He's doing quite a good job there, and he's already pushing back because of this. Just, this was a good artillery control. And now he's got some horse artillery, so it kind of makes up for the fact that he doesn't have heavy cannons of his own. Sadly, his coverings run inside of the Ulan. That's not what you want. It's a bit harder to defend your coverings on this kind of map. On Endis you have so many Incas and they are really good anti-cav, so you can always kind of pull like 5 or 10 Incas and just cover your artillery and kill the Ulans. Ulans are really low HP, so they die really fast before they can kill some artillery. But on this map you have only the shitty Mayas. These guys are really bad against cavs. They have a good siege and they tank, but they have like no attack. Like they have as much attack as an H2 Inca does, I think. So it's nowhere nearly as good as an Imperial Inca guy. Anyway, they're making a lot of Ulan. The German anti-cav is not the best and it trains really slowly. While wagons and doppels both have a very long train time. So I think you kind of want to make a lot of Ulans because it's a bit hard for the other German player to kill Ulans without making a lot of Ulans himself. Because yeah, wagons just take so long to train in doppels as well. He has those Mayas, but like I said, they're just really not so good. So it's not enough. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to go heavy on Ulan in this matchup, on this map. The only thing is that the river is so small that Cav can have some passing issues, but I think it's still okay in 1v1. FloKo did... oh, well, this was actually greedy. He tried to bring only one curve and to get a free shot, but he lost it. So, wow, that's so much artillery for Zivearia. He's right now on 7 curves and 5 horse artillery. That's like 60 pop of artillery or something. It's just a lot. FloKo needs to train a bit more coverings, I think. Or then he needs to do a big cav switch where he just overruns Zivearia with a lot of hand cav, but I don't know if this should work. Probably better to just make more curves and try to micro. Because right now he's on 1 curve, but Zivearia has really, I think, he had a solid artillery control this game and he's again sniping the curve, so 1 more curve dying for FloKo. The mortar dying for FloKo as well, the heavy cannon. I think Zivearia is doing a really good job at using his artillery right now. Let's check the units lost. Oh, they actually both lost a similar amount of artillery. I think that's just because at start FloKo had some Ulans killing the artillery of Zivearia, but I think after that Zivearia did a slightly better job at microing his coverings. Military units. Zivearia is also a bit higher on eco. He got his 20 settler wagons and 49 villagers, while FloKo has only 41 villagers. And Zivearia has less coin but more food and also less wood, so yeah, FloKo is just a bit ahead in resources there. Not by a lot, but still he's got just a bit more resources in the bank. But since he got less villagers, I'm not sure he will keep this advantage. That's a lot of cards coming in for both players. Let's check what build order they did. They both did Advanced Assassin and Shipper Nats. But Zivearia went for the Explorer card. I didn't really check if he was spamming the dog or not. Oh, and Zivearia is making some Cougars. Okay, that's good. And then they went for Skirm and Cav upgrades, and next is gonna be probably the Doppel upgrade if they plan on making any doppels, but if they don't, I guess it's just gonna be heavy cannons. Oh well, they do ship doppel cards, so maybe they will make a bit more doppels at some point. There's 2 cards. This one makes them slower but much better, and this one just makes them a bit better. And then they ship everything. I mean, there's nothing else left to ship. Yes, there is still the Explorer card for FloKo, because he didn't send it yet, I guess. So yes, there is still the Explorer card for FloKo and the double cards, and then that's it. What is it? So yeah, well, mirrors are not very exciting, I think, in 3T. Well, in subs also not. It's just a lot of the same units, you know, and they're both making a lot of cav. Not so many skirms actually. Germany has, they don't have the best skirms, but they have decent skirms. They have 1 card for them and the Royal Guard, which is okay, but it's not great. It's like inferior to Ports, France, Dutch, even Spain because of the junction, so it's maybe actually the worst skirmishers, I'm not sure. Not very good, but quite still okay, like okay stats. Okay, as an upgrade, let's check a bit if the boss got everything. Yeah, alright. Yeah, okay, yeah. So they boss got all the Aston upgrades. The relevant ones at least. Oh, they didn't even get the calf siege thing. There's an upgrade in the Aston, advanced Aston that makes your calf siege more. I usually get it, but maybe it's useless actually. I just feel like if sometimes I suck and I have idle calf just sieging, then they do more damage at least. It's maybe bad. A lot of war wagons there for Zivearia. I'm not sure why. Maybe FloKo was remaking a lot of Ulans, but I feel like war wagons, yeah, why he keeps making war wagons, I agree. Like, these archers actually have so much attack and a high rate of fire, and they completely destroy war wagons, honestly, and skirmishers as well, of course. But now he's making more Ulan. I think Ulan war wagon could be a solid switch, just to kill the cav of the other player and then bring your own cav on top of his skirms, but I guess FloKo is gonna react and make anti-cav himself, so it's not gonna work, I guess. So yeah, some horse artillery being trained.
German mirror. Who have the most heavy cannons wins?
Yeah, now they start to spam heavy cannons, but FloKo sadly is floating a bit more shipments than Zivearia, but they're both gonna send a lot of heavy cannons, and yeah, whoever can keep them alive. Which means that you need to win their cover in war if you want to have your heavy cannons shooting at the other units. FloKo just constantly slightly ahead. So he will have the edge when they run out of resources. He will have a small edge, and yeah, maybe it will let him win. I think the boss have too much food. What do you think? Especially Zivearia has too much food and not enough coin, I mean, but he switched a lot of food to coin.
Yeah, he switched a lot of villagers to coin, we can see it already. And now the food count is kind of the same, also the wood count, but FloKo has a little bit more of coin. We can also see it's really good at the score that FloKo's ahead. Not really much, but slightly.
It's 100 score almost, it's like 10k gold is 100 score, so it makes sense, you know.
Both players have 2 heavy cannons on the field and some culverines. So on this version of Blitz 3D you really need to take care that you have a lot of cannons on the field. It's really important. It's a lot of artillery micro.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Zivearia pushing now with his culverines. He does a good job at splitting his curves. He killed 2 curves and didn't lose one. He lost one now because FloKo was smart and he sniped down the low HP covering with some skirms and archers maybe. Oh, he's gonna... Yeah, he killed this curve as well. So now I think Zivearia... yeah, but FloKo made more kills, so I'm not sure.
In a German mirror, you usually don't make war wagons. We can see FloKo have no war wagons, while Zivearia is still making war wagons.
Yeah, maybe a couple is fine, but he makes definitely too many. And you would make doubles, but I don't know. They also train really slowly.
You have the Mayas. The Mayas is enough versus Ulans.
They're not so good. I mean, they have a ridiculously low attack. Like 17, it's times 3 is really low, you know. Even I think even an H5 pike would have more than this. Definitely, actually, Spanish pikes have more than this. But yeah, it's what I was saying. Since you can't train so much anti-cav, you can train slowly. Well, you should probably go just heavy on Ulan, I think. Ulans are also the most upgradable unit for Germany. They have the Royal Guard, which in 10% HP and attack, and they have 4 cards. So they have a first CAF combat and a second CAF combat, and then the H2 thing, which is also another CAF combat when together, you know. So they have like 3 CAF combats sent on them, plus the Royal Guard. So they're absolutely insane, actually. Like 500 HP is just a lot for a unit with low HP, right? It's because they have all these cards on them. And 94 attack is, of course, really a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. I can just agree. Zivearia is running short on coins slowly, but his macro, how he has his split on food, wood, and coin, it's really good.
Yeah, I think they both having a good macro now. Like Zivearia was a bit off macro, but now he's fixed. And it might actually be FloKo who will have some coin problems faster than Zivearia. You drain your coins so fast in this kind of game because you make so many coverings and each of them is 400 gold, and you also ship the heavy cannons which are also 400 gold each. So so you just drain your coin fast, and I don't think FloKo will have enough coin at some point with only 37 wheels. Especially because the settler wagons are on foot still. I think he will have to switch to some plantations, but he can easily just switch 5 settler wagons here and 5 here and then just be fine. So I think we'll be alright. Zivearia is still slightly ahead in eco by 5 villagers, but still behind in score. So I guess FloKo just does a better job at fighting. He also has, of course, 5 more pop-off units, which helps a little bit winning the fight. Let's check a bit the units lost. Zivearia just lost much more Ulans.
By the way, Gichtenlord won versus Sabusa.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's an upset, I think, but it's a best of 3? They played the best of 3 already?
Yes, Gichtenlord won 2-0.
Oh, wow. I think, yeah, Sabusa probably tilted. And Sabusa is pretty rusty as well, right?
Yeah. And on the other hand, we have Dictator with Super Napoleon live streamed on ESOC TV2. Dictator is winning. It's the second game, and the first one was in Northern California, and he won it as well.
Sorry, it was Dictator against who? Sorry?
Super Napoleon.
Alright, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But back to our games, there's actually a lot of heavy cannons in now for Zivearia. He got 3 and they got some pretty damn good volleys. And also he got a horse artillery. He does need a couple more coverings now. So, oh, these towers on both sides just taking care of the cav flanks because they have a multiplier against cavs. They do 50% more damage, so they actually do 90 attack with splash damage against cav. So Ulans drop really fast to towers. Like, yeah. So these towers are just good anti-cav, especially against Ulans. Mortaring behind the wall, the towers, that's good. No mortar for FloKo at the moment. More culverins coming in. 6 of them.
Horse artillery and 2 heavy cannons.
3, yeah.
3?
Yeah, he just pulled them back because he didn't have kills, but now they come back because he's bringing 6 culverins in, and FloKo did a good job at sniping one curve, and now he sniped another, and so yeah, he already killed 2 curves and didn't lose any. So Zivearia needs to pull this cover in here and use them against this cover in there. But only one alive. Oh, snipe it maybe.
More culverins coming in for FloKo, and another heavy cannon just popped out of the tower.
And 3 mortars.
That's pretty aggressive. He's bringing the walls on the side down.
Yeah, he wants to be able to flank, I guess. So he's gonna try to snipe down a couple walls like this one maybe, or maybe, oh now he's going for the tower, yeah, which is maybe more interesting. Oh, these covens are not protected, they're gonna die to Ulans. Oh, and they went in, which is not good. So yeah, about the units. FloKo lost a bit more artillery maybe than Zivearia. Also Zivearia lost more horse artillery, but look, FloKo lost more heavy cannons, he lost more mortars, and he lost more curves. So I would say that overall Zivearia actually did a better job than FloKo at the... He was winning slightly the artillery war, and he's still winning. You can see he still got like 4 heavies alive. Now he really just needs to cover all this artillery from these Ulans, because yes, there's a lot of Ulans coming in for FloKo, and even the Cougars as well. So he already lost 1 curve and gonna lose a heavy cannon here, as well as 1 heavy here, I think. Oh, maybe gonna save it, but if FloKo sees that, he can just snipe with 1 skirmisher this cannon. Zivearia, being smart, is gonna pull it back, so he might actually just keep this heavy. This curve is gonna shoot at the heavy, I think it locked. Yeah. So 2 very low HP heavy cannons and no culverins on the field. So FloKo now a bit ahead in the artillery, but we need to see what happens when Zivearia brings this extra culverins in. He's for sure gonna be able to snipe this culverin here from FloKo, which was out of position, and now it's gonna be 3 against 3 curves, and well, whoever has the better micro will win it. Could send his Cougars on the curves. Yeah, he's gonna do that. They actually do like 25 attack, which is not bad. And Zivearia gonna slightly win this because he got this covering sniped down by other units. So he's now able to slowly snipe the heavy cannon with his covering. Oh, he misclicked, but next shot the heavy will drop. And then there's his own 3 heavies, including 2 very low HP 1, which are gonna get sniped now, at least one of them. But he gets some good volleys now because of this better artillery presence. And the scores are actually super even now. So it looks like Zivearia could maybe come back from this little score gap he had. But he also maybe needs to make a bit more villagers soon, because FloKo is now ahead by 9 vills. And in late game, when you anyway can't keep up your pop perfectly to 200, it's more interesting to have a bit more villagers and a bit less military. Because if you don't have the eco to spam all the time your 120 units like Zivearia, 117 units you need to spam. If you don't have the eco for it, it's useless, so you might as well make like 10 more vills and keep up your pop. But at the moment, FloKo, like I mentioned earlier, actually has some coin problems because he didn't switch until very recently his villagers from food to coin. So he is not full pop, and he has quite some trouble to get cannons out and to spam this infinite heavy cannon shipment maybe. I guess I can show units lost here and military units here. Just need to show villagers are useless. So like this I think is nice. You can see how many units, the most important units lost. Well, except the doubles are very useless, but you can see that FloKo lost more skirmishers because well, Zivearia just gets some very good volleys from his heavy cannons. And he also made more Ulans, so he lost more Ulans but killed more skirms. And yeah, Zivearia is now very slightly ahead in score by 20, so well, that's already good for him that he was able to come back and even get ahead in the score. So that sounds good for Zivearia. Maybe we get a game 3, but it's still a very, very close game, so it's impossible right now to tell who is gonna win. Can only say that Zivearia got a slight advantage, but very slight. Ah, he needs to pull back his curve now. Zivearia Yeah, these curves are not very controlled there. They're just gonna die, I think. Zivearia actually pulling back. For some reason, that's kind of unfortunate because FloKo is out of wood and he's very low on coins. So that's actually a very good window for Zivearia to just push, you know, to just keep pressuring, because if FloKo doesn't have wood, he can't make cannons, he can't make new buildings. So if he gets mortared, he can't afford to make new buildings. He would need to buy wood now, but he doesn't have coins. So it's a very good time for Zivearia to push, and sadly he's a bit passive. But he doesn't know that FloKo is mismacroed, of course, you have no way to tell, but just saying, now Zivearia would need to push, because when he himself runs out of resources, which is gonna be quite soon actually, then he will not really have an edge anymore over FloKo. So I think he needs to use this window now, but he's pulling back. It feels like he's strangely under-popped, but I don't see any idle heavy cannon, so... Oh yeah. It feels like Zivearia just lost the control of the game in the last minute or so. He was getting all his artillery sniped, he was pulling back when he could in fact be pushing, and you can see in the scores that FloKo is now ahead again, so he kind of fucked up in the last 1 minute or something and he just lost his small advantage. But he now has a bit more artillery out, so again, FloKo gonna struggle to get coverings out because he only has like 2 wheels on wood and his 2 factories, I guess. Oh wait, he has 1 factory on food. That's a mistake. He does have the upgrade at least, but I mean he doesn't need food at all right now. He should have 2 factories on wood. This would help him a lot to get coverings because, yeah, I mean there's so many curves out for Zivearia. He got 4 curves, so how is FloKo gonna deal with that when he doesn't have wood? I guess he's training some curves, but he got only 1 curve in Q actually, so, and he makes a mortar as well. He's gonna have to, I don't know how he's gonna deal with this lack of wood he got right now. Zivearia also is also getting low on wood. He got 1 factory on coin, which is, in my opinion, also a mistake because the coin is a resource he doesn't need right now. I think he needs both factories on wood if he wants to keep making so much artillery. It starts to be quite a long game, 25 minutes of fighting already. Now we start to go into the late game part where people make back some villagers. You see they were both down to 80 or 85 bills and they both lost some bills, but they remade them and they made even more than they had at minute 10 basically. They both at 94 now, and it's the part where both players are gonna spam heavy cannons. They are gonna try to micro very carefully their heavy cannons because it's just a part where you run into late game and every artillery unit is important because you don't have the resources to spam so much. 3 heavies for FloKo sitting under the tower, protected by a couple war wagons and his units. In a very solid spot, but there's 1 curve slowly from Zivearia, 1 curve slowly killing these heavies. So yeah, already 2 heavies dead actually because of the Olans. It looks pretty good for Zivearia still. But he's now also out of food, so now both sides are gonna have trouble to make cannons. But still feels like he's kind of pushing and winning this fight. There is only 1 tower, so it doesn't matter so much. And again, if he can mortar the buildings from FloKo, FloKo is gonna have a hard time to pay for all these buildings with his low wood.
Well, both are playing on really low resources actually.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while Zivearia had much more wood, you didn't see, but he had more wood and now he drained. He kind of missed a window. He had really a window where he could push, in my opinion, and he kind of missed it. Which again is understandable because he doesn't know the macro of the other player. We do, but he doesn't, so... Zivearia needs to keep the solid artillery micro he had earlier. He's gonna snipe this mortar probably. Buildings are just very valuable now because they don't have any wood, so it's very important to keep your buildings up. FloKo is 20 pop behind. He's trying to snipe a heavy cannon, but the towers are gonna do a good job at defending. You see, that's what I was saying when... that's what I was meaning when I said that they are good anti-cav. They just do so much damage to cav. And the last tower went down, which means that... where is FloKo gonna ship his heavies from? Like from here, it's kind of awkward. It's better to have the tower and ship your heavies directly. It also means that when FloKo makes artillery, if he doesn't make artillery from the back foundry, his artillery might just die as soon as they pop because they pop right in the fight. So he maybe needs to make them from here, but then it's kind of awkward to micro because it's between buildings, so I don't know. Just looking a bit awkward for FloKo right now. He's slowly getting mortared. Zivearia carefully pulling back his mortar before it gets sniped and gonna kill the coverings with Ulan. That's a very good flank there. It's exactly the kind of trades you want to take at this point in the game. Cheeky wall going up. This is really nice. On the other side as well, he tried to get a wall up. Oh, but this is huge. Well, again, the towers are just gonna kill this stuff, but he will kill the heavy cannon at least. Need a couple coverings for each player now, I think. Oh, or maybe they're just gonna try to always use their calves. This is huge again. To kill just a cannon like this for free, basically. Boss on very low resources there, and boss have actually a good macro now. They just don't float any useless resource. Zivearia is, however, 50 score ahead. I don't know why, because he doesn't really have more resources, so I don't know why he's so much ahead in score. Maybe he just got more units a bit and a bit more resources, but still looks like a big gap. Well, I need to say when you train units, the score gets it goes away and it comes back when your units pop, so it's kind of not very accurate. But yeah, I mean, Zivearia clearly has the edge now. He has just more stuff, and he has some forward walls, at least a little bit. And he has a lot of towers, so if he had to go back, he could safely go back between the towers, while FloKo can't afford to build any tower with his wood count. I think Zivearia now needs a couple forward buildings. You need to find a way to pay for some buildings, like at least one stable maybe, and one racks, maybe more if you get the wood for it. FloKo calls a GG, alright, so game 2 goes to Zivearia. So we have a game 3. That was a very close game actually. Was a bit boring to be honest at the start because it was just like kind of spam. But at some point when boss player get a bit more tired and when they get low on resources, also you see more they need to try a bit harder to micro their artillery and this kind of stuff. Well, they both keep up their pop until FloKo was really out of resources there, and yeah, he resigned when he wasn't 20 pop. I think he just resigned in his brain here and was just gonna click out. Resources. Zivearia slightly ahead in views for most of the game, so that's why he had more resources. Only at the end, FloKo at some point was ahead, but not for long. So yep. The resources were just better for Zivearia. And it kind of matters actually in late game, like a difference of how many... wait, is there really such a big difference? This sounds like a lot. It's like 60k? No, oh, it's 6k actually, my bad. Yeah, 6k, okay. Well, still 6k resources is like 60 units. So that's kind of the difference of pop here. So having this extra resources does matter. And yeah, well, I guess that's it. I don't see much more to say about it. Or I can check the ratio. Zivearia slightly ahead in the trades. So yeah. Well played by both players, and we're gonna move on to the match point now. Need to fix the sound. So we already played on Blitz Route and on Orinoco. And we have Endis now, so that's the most classic, maybe not the most classic treaty maps. There's also Deccan, but that's a very classic treaty map and definitely the most played map on treaty patch. Everyone plays Andes. And I guess they can't. I can check the rules, but I don't think they can pick again a Civ. No. They can't play anymore. The score is 1-1, if anyone is wondering at the moment. Because we don't see the score out of game, so yeah. Score is 1-1 and this is a match point, and since FloKo won game 1, I guess he had to pick first in game 2. Which means that now it's up to Zivearia to pick first in game 3 because it's alternated. Oh, I didn't read what they were talking about, but I guess they need to rehearse for Sandberg or something. So yeah, Zivearia needs to pick first on Andes, and he can't go. None of these players actually can pick either Germany nor India. They can pick any other Civ, and there's also one Civ they vetoed. Do you know which Civ they vetoed? I wasn't here at the start of the series, so do you know which Civ they vetoed?
For FloKo's vetoed Jap, and for Zivearia's vetoed French. I think.
FloKo vetoed Jap.
No.
He can't play Jap.
Yeah.
Okay, so FloKo can't play Japan, and Zivearia can't play France, apparently. And then they also both can't play India or Germany, and they can pick any other Civ. But Zivearia picks first, and FloKo gets to counter pick, so he can try to get a good matchup. So now it's gonna be up to Zivearia to find a good Civ on Andes, like a Civ that you can't really counter. And yeah, we will see when they come back and rehost. So I'm curious to see the Andes Blitz map, because I think it's a bit different from the normal Andes. Like, it doesn't spawn that randomly at all, I guess. Treaty players are so slow. What the hell? Let's wait a bit then. I'm not sure what FloKo is doing. He's still not back online. So what could we do in the meanwhile? In the meantime, sorry. So Queen says Spain would be a good pick for Zivearia. On Andes, I guess you kind of want to fight in the nuts because you want to defend your nuts. You don't want to run too much. If the other guy has a lot of layers, then he will probably be able to hold your run, but you might have some trouble to defend your nets, because before the end of treaty time you can't wall your nets, they are kind of naked, so it's maybe risky to run on Endis. I'm not sure about the meta there, but you probably just want to fight mostly in the nets. So I guess that's good for Spain. They want to have all the units together, because then they all benefit from the missionary aura. Can make only 10 of these, it's a max, and it's what you always want to have, always 10 missionaries, and then you get an attack boost on your close units. And yeah, of course, when you need to split your armies and the other half of your army doesn't benefit from the missionaries, and the Spanish units are actually quite weak when they don't have missionaries. Like the skirmishers are terrible without missionaries, they are literally the worst in the game. And the musketeers are also terrible, their goons are absolutely terrible. Only lancers are really strong and rodelleros, that's all, without missionaries. Of course, when you have missionaries and you get like, I don't know, 60% attack boost or something, every unit is actually insane. So that's why you don't want to split. And you want to fight just in Knights of Spain and just push the other guy. Oh. So yeah, Zivearia picks first. Let's see what he chooses. I see some Su in the chat. I think Su got nerfed because it was really too OP. But maybe they're still really strong, I don't know. Apparently it would be a good pick on Endis.
Yeah, it could be, but the map is so open now, so it's not so easy.
And do you think... yeah, because for Su it's also a bit the same, right? They have TPs which boost their units a lot. So they don't want to split so much, because then they need to split their TPs as well, and it's not optimal. It's a bit like Spain with the missionaries.
Yes.
And yeah. Spain, indeed. Maybe he waited for the 2-minute delay to get his Civ. Nah, but like I guess it's kind of a classic pick. It's also the kind of Civ which is harder to counter than a normal Civ. They are not necessarily OP, but they are hard to counter because they have so strong units. You need to be very careful, I think. And okay, Su for FloKo. So yeah, we have both Civs people talked about, like Su and Spain. And
oh, nice.
who wins this matchup, would you think?
I think Su.
Yeah, which is probably why FloKo decided to counterpick with Su. By the way, Zivearia decided in the previous game to counter FloKo's Germany with his own Germany, which was in fact fine because he won the matchup, so it's good, but you don't think there could have been a better pick, a better counter pick to Germany on Ori?
Yes, ports.
Ports? Alright, anyway, so Zivearia maybe just thinking or talking with someone about how to play this matchup, or...
So yeah, we go in match 3. It's the what is it called again?
What? The match point? Yeah, match point, yeah.
Yeah. No, I got it a bit late, but
Great.
came in my brain.
Great.
Insane, I know.
So...
So nice. At least we don't have a mirror again.
Alright. We have, yeah, Su against Spain. And
We have here FloKo in the color green. He's playing Su versus Zivearia in the color red, and he is Spain.
yes, Spain.
Yes.
You just said he's playing. Yeah, he's
Spain.
playing. Ah, he's Spain. Okay. Anyway.
And he's red. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, did I forgot to say this?
I'm not sure. I think you did, but I'm not
It's
sure.
just so hot in Germany that I really lose some brain cells when we sit next to the comp all the time as two people inside the small room.
Yeah, it gets hot. it's quite hard at the moment. What's wrong about 98 villas for Sue? I mean, with every civ you anyway need to finish your villagers. Oh, but do you think he can age up with village? No, Sue don't have a villager age up, so yeah. Yeah. They didn't say, are you ready? They just unpause, but I guess they're calling together.
Yes, they're calling together.
So I guess they know when they need to unpause. So, text completed then. And shipment sent. So they aged, they made their eco upgrades, of course, and they sent their eco cards. FloKo a bit late on eco cards, to be honest. Even shipping the coin trickle, I'm not sure I like that.
No.
I think
won't send it.
I think you can have an extra card instead. Maybe you miss a card somewhere.
Well, there's not really a card what you can put more inside.
Yeah, I don't know. Even let's say improve buildings or whatever, you know. I mean, at least don't ship it. I think because it works only now. So usually you ship this at minute 0, which is when, or minute 2 or whatever in game, which is when it's gonna work on the whole game. But now it's kind of useless. It doesn't bring much, and I think Advanced Arsenal or Church Guard or Fast Trainings, you need to ship already a lot of stuff, and it's maybe better than the coin trickle. To be fair, he's Spain, so he gets more shipments, so maybe he can afford to actually ship it. But he needs to ship Unction as well. No, yes, it's still... Okay, you still need to ship it. And what about the FloKo stack? I really don't know so much about Sue deck in treaty, so...
Well, I played a few games Sue in treaty, and I think there's nothing missing. You can have maybe one more mercs inside, like for your X-Riders or something. But
yeah,
at all it's fine. But he have instead this town dance. You can have it not, and instead like having more mercs here. And town dance just boosts your buildings. And with this deck, I think FloKo will go for Dog Soldier box and will run while he's dancing on improved buildings. That his building has like 19k or something around this. Have the wards then, so he has then time to just run with all his unit population here. And we see that Zivearia is also making here like 4 layers, and with the eco wards 5 layers. So he will prepare for this.
But I'm not sure if he wants to go for a dot box or if he just wants to camp. Maybe he's just afraid of getting pushed hard by Spain and just wants to camp with his...
Well, we can see if he's doing... No, he isn't. He's not going for it. Maybe it's also in Blitz, you don't have enough time. Well, he would dance for dogs.
When
for
you
want
the dogs, yes.
Yes, when you want to go for a dog box, he needs to dance for them.
Yeah, but in Blitz, do you have time for this?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if even when you go with 25 villagers on your fire pit, if how fast they spawn. Do you have any idea?
I really don't know. It's probably something around 30 seconds or whatever. Or maybe 40 seconds. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this will be not enough then.
But if you ship fast calf training, it actually affects it a little bit. No, never mind, okay. Doesn't change for the soldiers.
So just change, it was written.
No, they say all calf trains faster and dog soldier trains slower, so it makes up for it, and the 0% change. Yeah. But he is also making a lot of walls.
Yeah.
So he probably just wants to camp with this. Like if he's in trouble, he can just camp behind these walls with 20k HP on them or whatever. Oh, Joaquina's already going in the cliff, so he probably wants to fight here, which is, I think, standard. But he's also gonna spread maybe a couple units on the side. I think Fog of War is not very useful in treaty, but now it's nice to see. Maybe he wants to spread them to have line of sight everywhere.
Yeah, we can see now the line of sight what the units also have, if he gives a lot of map control or not.
Yeah.
But with him, he is definitely able to run.
And these guys can build TPs at least. I don't know if they can also build buildings on 3D patch. Oh yeah, they can build war huts and stables. And TPs of course. So yeah, okay, so he don't even need to bring any villagers, just need some guys here and then he can make everything. Need maybe 1 or 2 villas just for walls basically and native embassies, I guess. By the way, this card makes it almost instant to train your nats. 85% training. Plus the Inca boost is gonna be instant nats, right? Sug just has instant nats.
Yes.
That's nice. Definitely a card you want to have in your deck. Because I don't think Su has fast infantry training.
No, they don't.
They just, in the war hut, they have a big button, it gives 25%, but it's not so, as good as 40%. So at least if they can train instant nats, it's some infantry they get instant, even if they can't train these guys instant. But is he not gonna make any cav? He just uses the big buttons. Oh wait, there is a box, an Axe Rider box and a couple dogs. That's the TC big button, I guess. Let's check. Oh, text completed. Yeah, he got the dog soldiers big button.
Yeah, how many dog soldiers are there? Can you check?
10.
Yeah,
they probably fixed it on patch that it does like the normal 10, you know? Because after this time it should be only 1 in a normal game, but they fixed it that it's always 10. So it's like after 30 minutes game, it's 10, it's the max you can get. And so yeah, he got 10 dogs and 20 axe, and he's exploring the middle. I think he's just going to scout, but then he will come back and just make a box, and probably run on the right side.
Yeah.
Oh wow, these walls are really hardcore. Like he makes really a lot of walls, even between military buildings.
I like it. I really like it because then he's making sure that FloKo is not able to run so much.
I like it as long as he doesn't have big passing problems. Because I'm afraid that the units get stuck between the wall and the building.
When he make everywhere some gates, then for sure he will not have any passing problems. Yeah. But we can see that these villagers, he's stuck.
Yeah, but this, for example, you can't make a gate on it. And here also, maybe there will be passing issues, I don't know. It would be nice to have as many gates as possible.
There's a bug when you first...
when you select them, yeah.
When you select first where you can make a gate and then the small points, then you get also a gate there.
Yeah, you first select a big part, you mean,
yes.
And then you shift click with these guys and you can make gates, yeah. But it's ugly.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
It's a bug, honestly. Should be fixed probably, but no one really cares about it. Because it's not very important in sub at least. But yeah, it should be fixed actually. Would make you like macro more this and just make always long guys and never small ones. Which is kind of a skill. He's spreading half, so he wants line of sight. Maybe he wants to snare a little bit this dog box and slow it down a little bit with 1 half.
I imagine just FloKo calling with him and just laughing his ass off. And that makes Zivearia like thinking about, he's maybe going for a strat. But I don't want to happen.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, a box is not so easy to deal with. But he's spreading a lot of units. Wow.
Yeah, I would do the same. For sure I would.
The Hackapels actually would be quite good at catching this box because they have so much attack, they would kill this pretty fast.
Maybe he wants also to go inside the nuts and take the posts down as soon as possible. And then build maybe with his Explorer.
But do you think it's possible to run in here? It's really tight and there's some cav and some rods. And then the scales of course. And a ton of cav here as well.
He could go from the side maybe.
Yeah, I feel like if you try to go through the front door, like here, just to run in the nets,
well, but you can go on the side, what I said.
Yeah, if he goes here, it would be smart. But Zivearia has some line of sight and he would probably have time to bring units. I don't think it would be realistic to try to go directly here because you see there's 5 layers of walls, plus walls between, so it's really hard to go in here. And so many buildings, like how many buildings he made, you know?
But it's a really nice strategy to defend.
Yeah, it's
I really
a good
like
base.
It.
I think it's a good base, yeah. Just need more gates, like we said. Like for example here, you can't pop in
Well,
here.
To be perfectly honest, maybe he don't need it, and then he spend wood on it.
Yeah, he could just make it last second if he needs to.
Show his box again. He's not in line of sight.
Nope. He's not scouted and he's probably gonna just run here.
Yeah.
No artillery from Spain, I think that's kind of standard against, so you just want mortars, but he doesn't have mortars. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, never mind. Okay, he has mortars, okay.
Okay, there we go, where's the box?
This help gonna snare a little bit, which kind of helps, you know, like.
But they're still faster, look, he don't snare anymore.
Of course, but it helps a little bit. He didn't upgrade his walls, is it on the way? He's not upgrading walls, that's a big mistake.
Oh look, they're also on the other native post. They're already dog soldiers.
Oh wow, I don't know how they came in, probably through here.
FloKo is taking a lot of map. We can see also next to the trade line that he wants to take as much as I'm sorry, this is really some nice strategies. You see what I said? There, look at the native post. He's bidding with his explorer there.
Yeah, but what is weird is that Zivearia didn't react. And he didn't like just send units, you know, he's just trying to push. But it might pay off because he could kill this, but maybe FloKo has time to train some nats, you know. He could have sent that instant nat card and he would just make nats now and defend.
Yeah.
But the native post is gonna go down, but this one is probably gonna stay up with all these nats popping. They're not really upgraded though, but...
Oh, what is this other native post there?
Ah, some rods. And the cav just runs away to defend. I think that's kind of weird. I mean, he had the potential to siege down the stuff with the siege dance, right?
Yeah.
And instead he decided to go back, maybe to get a good end goal to kill the mortars, but I feel like it's not going to be so great. The high capitals meanwhile are just tearing this cav. They're not so strong, but if you don't kill them, they do a lot of damage. And you see, I feel like this wasn't the greatest thing FloKo could have done with these. But still no native up. He was able to train a couple nats here, so still no nat for Zivearia, which means no fast training. That's a huge deal. FloKo got already the fast training and the fast moving and also the upgrades for his natives. But now Zivearia is stealing the nats. That's really a messy game. Wow.
You would have tilted already, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, look at this front base from FloKo.
Yeah. 2 stables, 2 war huts. Just with the skirmishers, and then when you have some more huts you can make again your skirms if they die, so you can make more buildings, so it's really hard to kill this kind of front base. Like when it's a normal Civ, you know, you just snipe down the wheels and then he can't build anymore, but here he can always build with this guy, so it's really hard to defend. And even TPs, like he's spamming such an aggressive front base so close to the eco, I mean to the base of Zivearia. And the walls here didn't go up, or did they go down?
I think they didn't go up.
I think I remember he made gates like 4 gates like this.
Oh yeah, you're
so
right.
So it means they went down, so that's quite huge actually. And he pushed back here. Zivearia finally gonna get his nats. So at the end of the day, what happened? Zivearia got delayed, his upgrades got delayed in the native post. He didn't push here, and instead he gets pushed in the middle. So FloKo was able to get a very solid position this game by running around. He was able to get up a front base here.
Oh, these missionaries are going to die. He sniped them down. 5 of them.
200 attack for these Wakinas. Because you need mortars. You can't fight Su without always mortaring down the TPs. Look at these stats. I mean, 1k6 siege is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think it's quite OP still. I think Su is still quite OP. I mean...
Well, when you don't play heads up, it is for sure. You see in there coming mortars. He was like, okay, I see TPs, I need mortars as soon as possible.
Yeah, and he's mortaring them down quite fast. But still, I mean, the stats from the units in range of the TPs, that's just so great, you know? They're just unkillable. I mean, they are killable, they don't have so much HP, but they just kill your stuff so fast. They get a bit of an HP boost from the TPs, but it's mostly an attack boost. It's ridiculous, the stats. Even the skirmishers, the Spanish skirmishers with the missionaries look like kids, you know, compared to these monsters. But it's also because he didn't make enough missionaries. This guy should have more than 50 attack, I think. So he has only 8 missionaries. Yeah, that's not great. That's decent, but he needs to max his missionaries if he wants to fight. If he wants to fight cost effectively, he needs to have max missionaries all the time. And he kind of needs it against these OP Su units. Holy fuck, I mean 100 attack. Where is the Su Explorer though? It's dead all the time? Or does he just send it back somewhere here? I can't even see it, to be honest. But it's dead somewhere. He needs to use his Explorer because with this card here, the Explorer gives an attack boost, so you want to have it close to your units. And it also tanks so much and it can snipe cannons so much. Like he could go snipe the mortar with the Explorer right now if he just revived it instead of having it dead somewhere here. Oh, it's here actually. Oh, finally, okay. So he's coming back. It's quite good that it's so fast because yeah, he needs to walk quite a lot to come back to the main fight. Zivearia now doing a good job at actually mortaring down these TPs. We need to keep in mind that the Su eco is really quite weak, and Spain doesn't have the greatest eco, but their eco is definitely better than Su. I mean, you can see how many eco cards are in the Su decks. You have some stuff for your Bisons because they get free Bisons all the time, but it's not as impactful as to have an upgrade on all your meals. And on meals he has like only 2 cards basically, and he doesn't have any coin upgrades apparently. I don't know so well the Su eco cards, but Spain you can see has 4 coin upgrades and 2 meal upgrades, so that's quite a better eco than Su. Su also needs to dance, so they have stronger buildings at the moment. He's dancing for buildings, so these TPs reach 1k HP and wait. Oh, he's not anymore. No, sorry, that's just the upgrade. Oh wow, he's gonna move forward with this fire pit. He decided he doesn't need a fire pit right now. He's gonna just delete it and just move forward with 25 villagers or whatever, maybe 20. Just make a forward fire pit somewhere here, which means that he can spam his Explorer faster back in the fight, and he can yeah, and he also has villagers there then, and he can maybe make walls with his villagers from the fire pit. Interesting, 4 nats running in. These guys have 110 siege. You don't need a lot of them to kill a training post. So yeah, he's just gonna would be nice to siege, I think. Like sieging the farm is actually nice, but it's not so impactful. What's going on here? Still some mortaring? What about Citan bows? I remember not so long ago Citan bows were like the meta as Su on dispatch. You made only like a lot of Citan bows, and they could also snipe the artillery, a bit like arrow knights. But he doesn't really make any Citan bows. Or he has 1 here. You see 100 siege attack, and they can use it I think against artillery, or maybe not.
Yeah, and also to siege down walls and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, 34 range they have. For shooting and sieging, so that's quite a lot. But yeah, he's not really able to kill these mortars, and I feel like he's struggling to get TPs up. He does have a few of them, so his units are quite strong, but not really as many as he would like to. By the way, here, some running from Spain a bit. And there's a wall in the second layer going down, but there's also buildings here for... like, I would see just, you know, a batch of 3 petards, and you just kill these 2 buildings there, just to clean up your side a bit after you got the wall down, to make sure it's really safe, because now he can still make skirmishes.
You don't even need so many petards. Look, it's so low HP.
Yeah, like 2 petards maybe, 1 for each. But like, imagine he would just make some wackiness and just run here and make more buildings and then start to push from here with the siege dance or something. I mean, I feel like it's really a threat, and it's definitely line of sight of Zivearia, so he should see it and kill it, I think.
So many TPs for Su.
Oh, these mortars are a bit too forward. Maybe he's trying to snipe the real buildings and not the TPs, but I feel like they're just gonna get sniped. But he does get native embassy down, which is annoying because soon needs to use villagers to build native embassies. He can't use his Wakinas and he doesn't have heals here. Also, he can pull some from this fire pit, which is nice.
As Sue, you need spamming all the time. We can see pretty good at FloKo's gameplay. Spam all the time these TPs, that your units have a nice kind of boost.
It's actually funny that now Sue makes only infantry, when in fact in sub it's kind of a calf sieve. But it's because of
in
the 3 piece.
you just make infantry a lot. They're coming a few X-Riders in.
It's not really that he wanted to make Axe Riders for the main fight, it's just that they come down from here where he sieged down the buildings when Zivearia was trying to run. So he brings them back here to fight, they will die, and I guess he will just make infantry instead soon. The thing is that Cav runs away from your TPs because they go on the other units, of course. So they don't really get boosted so much by TPs, and I think that's one reason why Su doesn't make so much Cav here. Like, it's better to have infantry between your TPs and Cav here.
FloKo have actually a lot of food.
Yeah, FloKo has maybe more resources than Zivearia there. His score is lower, but it's just because Su has always such low score.
Yeah.
Zivearia should maybe consider removing his factories and out of food and switching to maybe coin instead. I feel like he's got enough wood. But yeah, let's just not forget that Spain got a much better eco than Su, even if Spain doesn't have the greatest eco. Also, something I said this earlier, but I forget to mention that Su doesn't have factories, so it's another eco advantage for Spain. No one took any trading posts, by the way. Oh, and what is this? For how long? I'm not sure how long it was idle out there, to be honest. I didn't see it. Maybe he just...
It's huge.
Maybe he just made them, but I'm not sure. Could be that he just made them from this native embassy, but... To be honest, what can these guys do in fight? What are they gonna do
but
against skirmish?
They're coming some from FloKo at the same time to blocking.
Yeah, but I mean, like, 165 attack times 3, they would die in 2 hits from this skirm, so I think they do nothing. So it's maybe better for him to run with them, you know?
Yeah, but as I said, look, there's also the guys from FloKo and yeah.
But he's able to run a couple on the fire pit. He needs to focus them. Either to siege down, I think you would siege it down, right?
Yeah.
Because they have so much siege, or then at least kill the villagers, but don't just sieges. He did pull them back, so that's quite good.
Oh, look at the villagers there.
Yeah, but I think sieging down would have been better because it's quite long to build a fire pit back. And then, for example, now he wouldn't be able to revive his explorer.
Yeah.
Because how many views did he kill? Like, I don't know, 2, 3?
Not so many because they're running around.
But at least it forced FloKo to pull back his nuts here.
Yeah.
This explorer is just tanking so much. It's really crazy. But it's a hand cavalry now, they fixed it. So it gets sniped by dragoons. But Spain doesn't really make goons anyway. He just tanks forever, for real. It's so crazy. It's already like 30 seconds that the Spanish units are only shooting at the explorer, basically. Oh, FloKo is out of coin. And this Joaquin has cost not so much coin, but still 40 coin, I think. So he needs some coin. Maybe he can just make setons if he really got problems to keep up the pop. Maybe instead he can make some setons and not bad or something, and they cost food and wood. I think. Even on this patch, yeah, 60 food, 30 wood. It's even cheaper on this patch. They cost 10 less wood than on RE. So yeah, pretty good unit. But these 2 units are pulling a bit far away from the TP, so then they don't have that insane stats. Not better than Spanish units. Now he's pulling back between his TPs, so now his units are insane. They have really like 200 attack.
Oh yeah, it's so EO to be honest.
Yeah, and that's when Spain has trouble to fight because his skirmishers die in like what? I mean, 200 attacks is like in 2 hits he kills the skirmishers, so. That's quite crazy, or 3 hits at most. Steals the mortars, but they're a bit idle there. Oh, more nuts running in. So he's just making on purpose nuts from here to run from the side, around the wall, and FloKo is trying to catch up. He does have one more speed card on them, but he doesn't have the advanced arsenal, so it makes up for it, so they have the same speed in fact. Wait. Why are they slower? Ah, because he got this card on them, okay. So he was trying to snipe down the training post, but now he wants to run away. But I mean, why would you do that? Just let them die, but at least get the training post down, right?
Yeah, indeed.
I think he should have just sieged down, even if he would lose. Maybe split them in 2 groups and just siege down. Because he anyway gonna lose them and they're gonna do nothing and he's just running, so he loses all of them, but he doesn't achieve anything there. And meanwhile, Su is pushing always more. You know, there's essentially no more walls between Su and the Eco. I mean, there is no wall. He's not gonna be able to run in because of this wall of units. But there is not one wall between the Eco and Su right now, so it could very fast turn into a very, very bad spot for Zivearia. I think he's just losing. But Su is also out of coin and he's not so high on food either.
Yeah, but Zivearia is really out of food. Well, he just camp and takes care that he don't get pushed.
Could maybe make a bit more towers, I think. Because Su already needs to use his seconds to kill the mortars. And he couldn't really snipe towers. But this positioning is good for Zivearia. There's a lot of natives and units just running in and just getting sniped by this mass of skirms and the towers.
Oh, this looks actually good for FloKo. Zivearia is not able to hold his pop. He's out of food.
He's kind of at 200.
No.
Oh, almost.
No.
And look at the coin count from FloKo. I mean, I agree, FloKo got a bit more resources left, but again, Spain has just a better eco. So I think if Zivearia can just keep holding like this, maybe eventually FloKo is gonna have a problem. Look at the recalculated eco. So I should probably keep it like this, but with the factories it makes a difference. But
this is better.
96 wheels for each is actually quite okay. So they both remade their wheels when they lost some. Well, oh, I think that's good, yeah. He needed to close this wall, right? Because there was already 2 times some units running in. He could also just close from here to here. It doesn't take long, you just make 1 click and hop. Then you're safe because his villagers here, for example, are in danger a bit. And look, there's still no wall here, so...
Yeah, but Zivearia is so busy at defending his economy, look at it.
Yeah, of course. This is true. But still imagine like a couple hussars, for example. I don't know if you upgrade them, or lancers or whatever. Here, just to kill the villagers.
Yeah, lancers would be definitely good.
Hussars are better at killing vills, but I don't know if you upgraded them, so... But yeah, I mean, it would be nice. Or even some musketeers, if they're a bit slow, but they do a lot of damage to villagers. They're good at raiding. But yeah, Zivearia is on a very tight macro now. He's at really absolutely no resources. He's floating nothing now. And he even got boss factories of wood. Yeah, the boss and coin. he's always going a bit more in the back. He did remake this wall, so there is now one wall. He could even make another layer maybe behind somehow, but it's not easy. Maybe delete your capital, you don't need this building anymore in your market, and just make another wall or more military buildings here. I think you will need to delete stuff, right? Like, if you delete market and capital, he can slam down 3 military buildings here and another one here. At the moment he's fine, but if the Raxes go down, and I think they will because FloKo made some settings and these guys have really a lot of siege. Much better than Arrow Knights, to be honest. So I think they will go down and he will need to remake them in the back. Also delete the arsenal or a mill or a plantation or whatever.
Yeah, also the capital and the market.
Yeah, I said that already, but yeah. Definitely. This wall goes down pretty fast. Like, these guys have just so much siege. He really needs to do something now. I finish this. We maybe didn't talk enough about the shipments, to be honest, but yeah, they basically finished to send their eco shipments and their upgrades, and then they just spam some infinite shipments. Spain did a bit better job. He spammed like I don't know, 10 shipments almost, or 8, and Suwon is 3, or maybe the UI is bugged. I'm not sure. No, it looks like it's recent. So yeah, FloKo is stacking more shipments. Should be the opposite, to be honest, because Spain needs less XP for each shipment, so they should have more shipments. But he did just a much better job at sending them. Oh wow, okay, so now he did delete the market and the capital, and he makes thoraxes, because he's mostly making scums anyway. And he still got thoraxes here. He's very fast trying to slam down some more walls. But Su is not really pushing now, and it means that Spain will be able to get back some resources in, and he will be able to spam more units. He might lose some walls here, which means that there's more space for Su for a front base and for some TPs. But that's not so much damage to Spain, so I think Spain could be fine. I mean, Spain is in fact ahead in resources. The problem is only the TPs, they're very, very strong, and he just needs the mortars to snap them down. Without mortars, he won't win this. And FloKo needs more military buildings because his units are coming from quite far away.
He's building some there, I think.
Yeah, he's building a war hut. A mighty war hut. Insane. It's quite a close game, actually. It's a lot of infinite shipments for both players.
So who's at the end going to win? What do you think?
I would say FloKo. I mean, it depends how well Zivearia plays late game. But if Zivearia doesn't make mortars now, he's going more back now. I mean, he really just needs mortars, but maybe he can't afford them so much. He has only 2, and they're, oh boy, it's exactly the passing issues we were talking about. They're stuck here. He trained them from here because maybe his next artillery foundry, he got no other.
Only.
Yeah, it's his only artillery foundry, and they're just stuck. He needs more gates. It's what we were talking about.
Just delete the fucking wall, boy.
Yeah, now you can delete it because it's in case you get pushed here, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't need walls now, and yeah,
there
finally,
you go.
alright, there's
Thanks
one
a
gate.
lot.
So now
Good.
he's gonna be able to bring
That's
them
great.
up some Lancer flank.
But
This
maybe
guy's-
it will be too late that he bring his mortars. Look how the military count of Zivearia versus the one of FloKo. It's awful to watch for Zivearia. He's going to lose this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still quite close. FloKo's stacking a bit more resources here.
So, and by the way, the Citambos are sieging units on Treaty Badge.
So they shoot with the siege attack.
Yes.
No, I think they shoot at range units with this. But they shoot at cannons and at... I mean, they shoot at normal units with this attack, and maybe they shoot at cannons and buildings with this. Anyway. The Lancers do very good though. Oh, he's trying to do kind of a cheese and bring a lot of cav, but Zivearia has some rods from the Infinite Shipment and maybe some he trained as well. Oh, Missionary is out of position, but he's gonna be fine. I mean, he's gonna lose one mortar, but he's gonna kill like 5 cav. It's a fine trade. It's a good trade actually. And he still has one mortar up. With Unction, this guy just gets so much siege. He can one-shoot TPs. I think that's one good thing in this matchup for Spain is that they can just one-shoot the TPs with mortars. That's actually huge, I think. With only one mortar, you can slowly one-shoot TPs one by one. It's just really nice, I think, for Spain. It's really a close game again, like game 2. Game 1 was not very close, Zivearia just lost, but game 2 was close, and this is pretty close as well. Look at the wood count from Zivearia.
Yeah.
There's 2 factories on wood.
Oh, look here! Look at this. Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to run in with the siege dance probably, but Zivearia is reacting and killing them, so no big deal I think. And he's on his own gonna try to run a bit. He could just siege down this stuff, like they have 110 siege. In 2 or 3 volleys they can kill a building, and I think he should do that. Or then try to run in here, but maybe better kill the buildings first. Because Su really doesn't have so many buildings here, and I think if he could siege down some, he would be in a good spot. Um,
36 minutes game so far.
Yeah, 26 minutes of fighting, so that starts to be a bit late game again, like the previous game. He got one warhead down, and somehow his stuff maybe here was able to run in and siege down the fire pit and maybe kill a couple of villagers. And FloKo now needs to build back his fire pit, so meanwhile he can't revive his explorer.
Nice
He can't
move from Zivearia.
He can't dance on wall, he can't get siege dance or whatever else he wants, and
But he's splitting it back again. Just look at it.
yeah, now it's fine, but you see it's annoying because only 10 can build and then the other ones get idle around and you need to re-click everyone in it. And it's just, I think it was good from Zivearia, and it looks like he's gonna try to go in again. Let's pay attention this time. Is he just running in through here? No. Yes. Alright, they do run in like this. This is actually sad for FloKo.
No. Oh, look at this box.
Oh wow.
Siege dance, and there you go.
Yeah, these guys have 168 siege. It's not so much because he still has idle villagers, and look, they come to shoot. This sucks for FloKo. He needs to siege with everyone and then he gets an insane siege. So now he's just going back because he can't dance for siege. And these guys get like 3 times more siege when they dance than without, so it's kind of useless to go for a box without siege dance. It's like 3 times worse, so that's not very interesting. So he first gonna relocate his fire pit here. He just deleted it. Just times that he can hold this and go in a bit safer spot. But again, maybe he would need to finish the wall. There's an idle dog here, by the way, since a really long time. And but Zivearia is kind of pushing back there. I mean, there was a point where these walls here would get sieged down, and now in fact he was able to rebuild racks and to get more walls on the way, and it's just such a close game. They're both on very low resources, constantly having to remacro. You see he probably had factories on wood, that's why he got so much wood now, but then he removes factories from the wood. And FloKo also gonna need to remacro on wood now, so now you need to constantly pay attention to the resources. And always switch wheels to whichever resource you need. And the War Chief gonna snipe down this mortar in one hit. Yeah, that's how good he is against artillery. He got 52 times 11, which is 572 attack against mortars. So they just kills them in one hit. Like, that's just pretty good. Oh, the 3 that's kind of stuck there in this wall. I'm just gonna die slowly. It's kind of good for Zivearia that they die actually, because if they didn't die they would just be idle, but they're just gonna die slowly to this Warheart. Not as good as a European tower, but still does some damage. Zivearia very low on military there, only half pop of military and pretty low on food. Gonna have a hard time to remass. He needs to fall back now. He can't keep fighting this. By the way, why is this building still up here? I mean, they should have been killed, I think. And why is FloKo not using this? Like, even here there's like 6 wheels, so he could already do that. And then the Satans have so much range, to be honest. They could just siege down some military buildings, or come here in the corner and siege down the plantations, or kill the villagers, or whatever, you know? Because they just have like so much range. Satan bows on this patch. They have 34, like a covering, and so much siege damage. Can see how fast they siege down the wall, and their rate of fire is also really fast. That's
FloKo
actually
has a
insane.
window now. He needs to push. Zivearia is not able to hold his pop.
Well, FloKo is kind of running in the nets. There's still one net down, by the way, for Zivearia. I guess he doesn't have any ways or resources, but FloKo is sitting on quite a comfortable amount of resources there, and he might just be able to steal this. Oh, he's running there, yeah. He's gonna attack from there also.
When he got his natives, then it's basically over.
If he can get 4 natives and keep his pop, he probably wins directly. Now he can train more Titan bows or whatever Joaquin has. But it's actually quite weak at fighting out of the TPs. 20 attack and 40 siege is not so great. And he wouldn't be able to, yeah, I think even if he was bringing Titans here, he wouldn't do much, because only 40 siege is not so great in age 5 compared to like these guys, for example. But yeah, he's running in.
Zivearia is not holding his pop at all. He's falling down, 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 and he has no coin.
I think we're gonna see a GG in the next minute. Yeah, there we go. It's just over.
GG.
But it was a recall series, really nice.
So yeah, this means FloKo goes to the semi-finals against Dictator. So I think Dictator is going to stream this first person, and we are going to cast Gichtlord versus Lucas.
Alright. Yeah, I'll be right back for a while, but I guess you just will cast some stuff then. And
yes, I will do.
And well, let's just take the graph a bit. The boss kept their pop kind of similar. Zivearia lost more wheels, but he remade them always, so that was good. And FloKo also remade his villagers whenever he was running a bit low. But you see how much better the Spanish eco is. So if he was able to hold and actually gain some time, you know, just buy some time, and he would have maybe won. But yeah, he was just pushed in the start. We need to say that this position FloKo had the whole game was just because of the start, where he was running in the nuts, and then he was just sneaking at the same time some Satan bows here or whatever it was, or Joaquin has, and he just took this winning position since the start, and that was really well played, I think.
Yeah, well played by Boss. And so we are moving on to the semi-finals.
Good ratio for Sue, of course. Yep, semi-finals now. All right.
ESO down, maybe.